This is Relentless Daring on Podbean.com. Welcome to the land of bourbon and bad decisions. This is Relentless Daring on Podbean.com or the Podbean app. Welcome to the show, Kim and Steve. Hopefully everyone's hearing me fine this week. Last week I tried to do something a little different and it was a horrible mistake. Lady Di has joined the room. Awesome. So glad to have y'all with me tonight. So, the big news from this last week, with, some exception, has been the diagnosis of Donald Trump with the Rona. And we all understand that, 74 years old, he's in a higher risk group than really a lot of people. And none of us really want to, despite what we think about Donald Trump, want to see anything bad happen to him. He is the president. And, seeing anything too awful bad happening to him is not good. But if you got on social media at all on Friday or today, it's all you've seen is, I hope he dies. It's really insane the way people are freaking out and really just going nuts over the fact that, Donald Trump, and not to put too fine a point on it, but, our side really hasn't been much better. Chrissy Teigen, wife of John Legend, allegedly a model or something, she suffered a late-term miscarriage. And it's absolutely devastating for any woman to go through this. But there were people on the right looking at Chrissy Teigen, who's huge pro-abortion, and it's like, oh, so now it's a baby when you wanted it? And it's like, come on. That is just as bad as when Donald Trump's brother died and you're seeing all the hashtag wrong Trump on Twitter because it was the brother. Oh, why couldn't it have been Donald? It's just been crazy to watch. And kind to back up here. Steve says, to be honest, they were saying that way before this. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are just going nuts over, Donald Trump. It just got that much worse. And then what people are presuming they got from Hope Hicks because, she's there with the president so much. And here is how crazy it's getting. It just kept coming out. Hope Hicks was diagnosed. Then Donald Trump was diagnosed. Then it was announced that Mike Lee was diagnosed with the COVID. And Kellyanne Conway was diagnosed with the COVID. And it was insane. People were like, oh my God, I can't go off Twitter for 5 minutes without learning something. Somebody else I hate is going to die. It's nuts. And then everybody's favorite washed up, like, Q-list celebrity, Tom Arnold, was so awesome that somehow he got a hold of Hope Hicks' phone number and he tweeted it out. Now, keep in mind, earlier this week, I had my account locked on Twitter because I had the horrible audacity to share a montage of clips from C-SPAN where then Vice President Joe Biden, at a number of different Senate swearing-in ceremonies, was getting handsy with their young female children. And I share this video, and Twitter locked my account because I was in violation. Of community standards on exploitation of children. So, okay, I can't share a video that shows the vice president putting his hands on kids, but Tom Arnold can share that. People can say, I hope the president dies, but I can't show a picture going, oh, isn't this crazy? Of course, then again, that means Twitter support has to admit that for this to be exploitation of children, Joe Biden is committing an exploitative act to said children. So that kind of puts Twitter in a kind of a pickle. It's like, well, crap. We don't want these videos of Biden looking bad. But at the same time, if we say it's videos of exploiting children, we're making it look like he's actually exploiting crap. And then it's just been absolutely nuts. And at least I did watch the video today that Donald Trump put out. I don't have it queued up and ready to go. But basically, he came out and he said, hey, the people here at Walter Reed are doing an amazing job. All the doctors and nurses around the country are doing an amazing job. That, hey, I'm going to beat this and I'll be back at work as soon as I can. And, it's great. The Joe Biden campaign has pulled down all their negative ads attacking Donald Trump, which that's a miracle. Which, of course, again, that is the Biden campaign. That probably not going to have any effect on all the political action groups that are, throwing their money behind the Biden campaign. So probably still see their shenanigans. And I said, and seeing all this stuff about Trump and COVID, it was really hard to do any kind of show prep today. So I ain't got hardly anything. It's at the point where, if you remember after the debate, Donald Trump didn't denounce white supremacy. Oh my God. It's at the point they're going after the doctors at Walter Reed. There's a press conference. Question. Has Trump ever been on supplemental oxygen? Dr. Conley. Right now, he is not on oxygen. You keep saying right now, but should we read into the fact that he had been on oxygen previously? Yesterday and today, he was not on oxygen. It's like, dear God, people are going after the doctors because apparently the doctors don't know what the hell they're doing. And it's nuts. It's like, seriously. And when Chris Cuomo was having his COVID in the basement and, breaking quarantine to go to his house on Long Island, no one gave two craps. It was very, oh no, Chris Cuomo's got the Rona. Whoa, this is so awful. But don't worry. His doctor, using air quotes there, who is not licensed in the state of New York as a homeopathic doctor, by the way, prescribed bleach baths. Now, I know what you're saying, but they made fun of Donald Trump for saying you should inject bleach. First of all, Donald Trump never said inject bleach. He said maybe some kind of disinfectant, which if you take any sort of intravenous antiviral or antibiotic, that's injecting a disinfectant because it's disinfecting you with medicine. Hate to share that little fact with you, but that's what it is. But, Chris Cuomo was prescribed bleach baths and crystals. I don't know what the crystals did. You hang him, the light hits him just right. I don't know. But he was prescribed all this loony stuff in order to fight the Rona. Like I said, while he was on quarantine and picking fights with bicyclists and other dumb crap while he was on Long Island violating his quarantine. So now we have Donald Trump, and this leads to ask the question, we hear about all of these, high profile Republicans whenever they get the coronavirus. They made a big deal about, Jim Jordan had it, and I said Mike Lee has it now. Another member of the Senate Judicial Committee has it. And just quite the list. But we never hear about, well, where are all the, obviously you would think if this is going around Washington, D.C., where are all the Democrats who are probably getting it? Which, the only thing I can really figure on that one is Senator Tom Tillis has, okay, I was thinking it was, so I knew it was someone with a funny name because, Tom with the H in it. But you never see anything about, high profile Democrats. I'm just thinking that the Republicans are, in the name of transparency, are like, hey, big name Republican here. I've got the Rona. I'm going to quarantine real quick and I'll be back at work. I'm thinking any of the Democrats who are catching it, I'm thinking they're downplaying it. Because really the only big name Democrat I've heard recently was Governor Blackface out of Virginia. And Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. Man, they're all just coming down with it. And I was looking at an article I was going to share, but it's a lot of studies from overseas. And who has time to read overseas studies? But it's just absolutely nuts how people are freaking out over it. And despite my differences with Donald Trump, I don't want him to suffer any major consequences from this stupid virus. Right now, my wife is doing a quarantine from work because one of her co-workers that she's, literally right beside all day, every day, she was diagnosed with it. So my wife got told, yeah, take a couple weeks off. Don't worry. You'll still get paid because, teachers and stuff. So I've been sitting at home going, if I get sick, I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming a million other people. Because, my wife can point out, okay, well, I probably got from her. But because they work together so much, you really don't know when the transmission would have occurred. So really, do we have it? We're just pre-symptomatic right now. Which, I'm still working my regular job that supports this. And the good thing is I'm by myself most of the day. So if I do have to go inside, to use the restroom, go to the snack machine, whatever, I can throw a mask on and, I'm not stuck wearing the stupid thing all day, which there's a lot of really physical elements at this place of employment. So wearing a mask and trying to do all that work would be awful. Especially as those masks, they start to collect condensation and You're trying to breathe, you end up waterboarding yourself. It's, ugh. Lady Di calls them face diapers. It's exactly what they are. Old nose huggies. But just at a complete and total loss with the way society has taken itself completely down the crapper. And I was going through some of these stories, trying to find something to talk about that's not Donald Trump having coronavirus. A ex-Hillary Clinton spokeswoman expresses a death wish for the president. President Trump's confirmation that he and First Lady Melania Trump have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 has unleashed a new round of Trump derangement syndrome symptoms. Former Barack Obama staffer and Hillary Clinton national spokeswoman Zara Rahim wrote on Twitter, "I hope he dies." Kim L says some of his face diapers are full of doo-doo. Yes, they are. Yeah. English television personality Piers Morgan called Rahim's tweet shocking and shameful. This now deleted tweet was the reaction to President Trump testing positive for COVID-19 from @Zara Rahim, former Obama White House staffer and Hillary Clinton's former 2016 national spokeswoman. It's been against my moral identity to tweet this for the past 4 years, but I hope he dies. And this got little sparklies all around the word dies. Come on. Is this where we've gotten in society, that we can't, see a political opponent who suffers an illness without wishing, the worst? And when it came out earlier this year that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had her cancer come back, you didn't see people on the right going, "This is it. This is it. We're going to get a new judge." No. People on the right, were, oh, yeah, it's like, we really wish she would retire because obviously her health is becoming an issue, but we wish the best of her. When John Lewis passed away, people on the right didn't gloat. People on the right were like, well, we like what he did in the 60s with, alongside Martin Luther King Jr. We don't like the policies he's been pushing for the last 20 years. And it's a shame. Kim says, "It's shameful these humanoids are acting like this. No compassion." Yeah, especially if they're the communists, because like the former Libertarian Party hopeful from 2016, Austin Peterson, said, "Communists aren't people. Communists are property of the state. Therefore, they are not people." So that means when you go Pinochet and give them free helicopter rides, you're not really losing any human life when they splat on the ground. LSU Tiger fan says the mask is nothing more than a religious talisman. Yes, that is true. And especially when you see the way people, "I have to have my mask on, I gotta put my mask on, oh my God." Or you see the COVID Karens, tracking people through Walmart or the local grocery store. "You need to put your mask on." Like, no, I don't. There's a great video of this lady and her mom harassing this dude who's looks like he's trying to buy stuff to do a truck repair. And he's just like, "Y'all are making yourselves look like idiots. They're harassing me because I don't want to wear a mask." Like, you're harassing us. Ah! It's like, oh my gosh. And the mask has become a new way to have flair on your face. But are you wearing your 17 pieces of flair, Sean? That is the question. Are you wearing your 17 pieces of flair? If you're not getting that joke, you have led an incredibly sheltered life, and may God have mercy on your soul. But it's just been insane. But there was Senator Elizabeth Warren was coming out. Oh, we have with Ron Johnson and Mike Lee having the COVID. Yeah, that's two members of the Senate Judicial Committee with it. We need to postpone Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearings. All right. How about this? Just skip the hearings altogether because there is no constitutional requirement to have a hearing. There is no requirement that a committee has to get together and conduct interviews and go, hey, are you good enough to hold this job? Just, all right. We will put Mike Lee over here, 6 feet from everybody, put him in a bubble. We'll put Ron Johnson over here, put him in a bubble. Tom Tillis, put him in a bubble, and we'll vote on it. Call it a day. It's unconstitutional. No, it's perfectly constitutional. Just like, yes, there are people already voting for president, and Donald Trump is fulfilling his constitutional obligation to nominate a judge for that seat. And then the Senate has a constitutional obligation to advise and consent. And that is, and I get it, in 2016, there was a whole giant kerfuffle over the fact that the Senate was not holding hearings, was not voting on Garrett or on Garland. I understand that. It's no bueno. I don't like the way they did it. But when they came in and they said, it's our role to advise consent, and we do not consent. We're not, period. End of story. We're not even going to have not even going to hold a hearing because we don't accept this judge. However, with them couching it, well, it's an election year. We need to, it's an election year. We need to let the people decide, blah, 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 blah. They painted themselves into a corner of incredibly bad decision-making because now they're stuck with that argument being thrown back in their face. It's an election year. The people are already voting. Let the next president decide. Well, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself said, pardon me, the president doesn't stop being the president just because it's his last year in office. When asked directly, should the Senate hold hearings on Merrick Garland, she said yes. Now, if they'd done the hearings and then they went to a vote, all right, who all approves? Oh, you don't have 60 for cloture, so we cannot actually, seat Merrick Garland. Boom, it's done. It's over with. Unfortunately, we were left with an absolute circus, and Mitch McConnell, he was the ringmaster in the middle with the top hat and the shiny coat, and now he's the ringmaster again. It's not so much of a circus; it's more of a crap show. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, people, they just don't know what to do right now because everyone's losing their cotton picking minds. And yes, I know I said cotton picking. If you don't like that and you think it's racist, I don't care. So it's just one of those things. It's life needs to go on. Unfortunately, there's too many people on the left and the right who do not want that to happen. I will be back after this. This is Tyler from Relentless Daring, and I am launching the brand new RelentlessDaring.com merch shop. Instead of having to go to a third-party vendor, now you can do everything right there at RelentlessDaring.com. If you want to buy merch, go to RelentlessDaring.com/shop, and there you can get hats, you can get t-shirts, you can get hoodies, you can get coffee cups, you can get stickers. Go there today to show your love for the Relentless Daring podcast. And as always, stay relentless. Tired of the same cardboard flavored doormat textured protein bar? How about drink mix packets for your water bottles that are full of artificial sweeteners? Tired of a whole regimen of pre-workout and protein shakes for your trip to the gym? Go to BuiltBar.com for their selection of great tasting protein bars, Built Boost Energy drink mixes, and Built Go energy gels. Built Bar offers 18 delicious flavors of protein bars with only 4 to 5 net carbs for you keto dieters, 6 flavors of Built Boost Energy drink mix, and 3 flavors of Built Go energy gel. Built Bars are made in America using real ingredients like honey and dark chocolate. Go to BuiltBar.com and use the promo code RELENTLESS to save 10% and let them know you heard about them from Relentless Daring. All right, so if it didn't play through on the live show, I am happy to announce I have a new sponsor. I am partnered with Built Bar. Built Bar, they're a great American company. Everything made in the U.S. using real ingredients, honey, dark chocolate. It's great products. I'm actually waiting on a 18 pack that's got all the different flavors of Built Bars in it, so I can figure out which one is my favorite. I'm really hoping for the mint chocolate. It's my favorite flavor of ice cream. Hopefully, it'll be my favorite flavor of Built Bar. Also, I really want to try some of the drink mixes they offer, so it looks like it'd be something nice to have at work, especially on those hot days where I don't want sodas and all that. You can go to If you go to BuiltBar.com, use the promo code RELENTLESS and save 10%, and tell them that you really like this show. Again, thank you so much. I'm really glad that they wanted to go out of their way to support me. I may have had an inside track with the wife of a guy who works at the Blaze. Her name is Lisa. She's totally awesome. That may have helped. I don't know. But yes, Lisa Page, Stu's wife over from the Blaze. She's a really good Facebook friend and an amazing follow on the Instagrams. Go over there, especially when she's putting up pictures of Griffin. Love that lizard. So anyway, I don't have a clue I'm going to talk about for the next half hour, so I'm just kind of wing it like I usually do. And my phone disappeared. So now I can't even BS my way through that. Son of a gun. All right. Guess we'll have to get some help from the audience here. Yeah, my phone has completely wandered away. Isn't that crazy? You go to a commercial break and then all of a sudden, the one thing that you do all your show prep on is gone. So, all right, let's throw it out to the listeners. I see you out there. I know there's a few of you in the It Grew Legs and Walked Away. Apparently so. I clicked a couple buttons and Now it's just gone. It's not in my pocket. I'm not sitting on it. It's not anywhere around my computer. It's just gone. You ever have a show be doing something, everything just goes downhill rapidly? I own a magic phone. I do not. What do you mean I don't? You're right. I tap a screen on my iPad, and there is a clicky thing on my computer. It grew legs and came back. I found it. Yay. Yeah, and everything's going on. I already talked about Tom Arnold and his I already talked about Tom Arnold and his doxing of Hope Hicks, because what sense does that make? Oh, and then he tried to am I doing a happy dance? No, I'm not doing a happy dance because I don't have a whole lot of length of headphone. I don't have wireless headphones for this, so I kind of have to stay seated or else I end up pulling the soundboard off the desk, and then everything just goes to hell even worse than it already has. But it's getting so crazy that Donald Trump, who has done more to be friends with Israel and all of this, a Jewish Democrat group ran an ad comparing Trump's America to Nazi Germany. This is a story from Breitbart, so take that with a grain of salt, if you will. An ad by Jewish Democrat Council of America comparing President Trump's America to 1930s Nazi Germany has sparked outrage and support from anti-Semitism watchdog czars. The split-screen 30-second ad released Tuesday features side-by-side footage and images of Nazi Germany rallies in the 1930s and Trump rallies, including neo-Nazis in Charlottesville, Virginia, which, that's a low blow. Let's see. As well as images from the 2018 Pittsburgh synagogue attack in which 11 Jews were killed. Defaced present-day synagogue featured alongside photos of graffitied Jewish shops in the 30s, which, I don't know if they know this, but the guy who shot up the synagogue was a leftist. BLM meant for more like the 1930s Nazis. And don't forget the black shirts in Italy. They are also along those lines. Entitled "Hate Doesn't Stop Itself, It Must Be Stopped," the ad blames Trump for the rise of far-right anti-Semitism, which a lot of the anti-Semitism that comes from crazed groups like this come from notorious left-wing groups. They come from collectivists. If you are on the extreme far right, you're an individualist of the utmost order. You'd fall under the lines of someone like Michael Malice, who is an anarchist and doesn't believe there should be government of any form, regardless. They should have brown pants instead of shirts. This guy was smart. He's got the brown pants on. I didn't say anything about tea parties. I was saying the extreme far right wing is, that gets into your anarchism and not what you're seeing in Portland, not what you're seeing in Seattle. I'm talking true anarchism where all government is bad. And so, Tea Party's not. Okay, I didn't. Okay, so I'm out of bourbon for this week's episode of Bourbon and Bad Decisions. So I had to move to something a little higher test, something that came out of a homemade still. Stock up. I only have a pint of what came out of the still currently in my office. There is also a gallon of what came out of the still that it's put up in the other room. Lady Di's like, pint? WTF. Borderline. LSU Tiger fan is borderline anarchist. Also believe in leaving everyone else alone. I'm kind of how Leonidas Johnson describes himself as a minarchist, where, yes, he fully agrees with the Declaration of Independence. I know it's Libertarian Ninja. I'm just not mispronouncing your handle on here now. Populist nationalist. Populism has a place. Nationalism has a place. But it's just one of those, this is one of those things that it's too much of either is where you start going wrong. You have the extreme nationalism and and extreme populism, and then that's where it leads to really bad things. In Nazi Germany, they really used the populism and extreme nationalism to really buy into the people. Just swallow you off and leave you alone. I'll send you back to your stinky island across the pond. Next time in Missouri, some of that homemade stuff. At some point, I'm supposed to be getting my own still so I can make my own homemade stuff. I don't have to keep going to someone else. But, you know, we all have dreams, don't we? So, trying to figure out where the stupid train went off the rails at. Oh yeah, I'm find myself being like Leonidas Johnson, which you want a good listen for a podcast. Let's look up his Informed Dissent podcast. It's really good. If you don't know who Leonidas Johnson is, there was a story several months ago when cancel culture was going crazy because, oh my goodness, you're a white person doing the voice of an African American person on a cartoon? That's awful. How dare you? Well, Leonidas, he tweeted that he would like to apologize because he's not French, nor is he a candelabra, nor is his hair really white and powdered. So he is sorry for playing the role of Lumiere the candelabra in an off-Broadway production of Beauty and the Beast. And he was being snarky about it. And then that really got him a lot of attention. And then he started this Informed Dissent podcast. And it's such a great listen. He's one of those. He's one of those guys that, you know, speaking as an African American on things like critical race theory, Black Lives Matters, it has a lot more credibility than, you know, a pasty white guy like me speaking out against it would. And you know, he's just a funny guy to listen to. He tells good stories. His last episode, I can't think of his name. but he had the guy who plays Lucifer on Supernatural. Had him on. This is a great interview. Can you follow me on the Instagrams? Yes. Check the show notes on this episode. Once it posts to the podcast, you'll find it there. But this is a great listen. He likes to describe himself as a minarchist. Yes, he agrees with the Declaration of Independence that governments are instituted among men to protect the God-given rights that we have. And the problem with government is once it gets so big, it becomes self-sustaining, and bureaucracies want to look out for one thing and one thing alone: keeping the bureaucracy alive. That's part of the reason why the deep state had such an issue when Trump got elected, because I'm going to drain the swamp. We have to protect the bureaucracy. Bunch of people who were hired and selected to work in government, not elected. Therefore, they're not actually owned. They're not actually accountable to, constituents. And then I'm not sure if that dude was just trolling for stuff either, but it is what it is. So that's the reason why I haven't said his name, and I don't want people going and trying to find said troll. Just trying to downplay it. But believing that government should have a definite place in our lives. Having police to protect property, to protect our rights as individuals, is a good thing. This whole defund the police movement, where you're seeing major cities where crime is spiking and cops are retiring at a rate much higher than years past. I think Minneapolis has seen a 50% increase in cops retiring. They hit that 20, they're going to get that pension. Screw it, I'm done. I'm out. You have cops transferring to other departments because I'm just not getting any support here. It's like, I might take a cut in pay, but I know I'm not going to lose my job because the city council hates me. And that's a sad thing when you think about it, that when a city council gets to the point where we don't like you anymore. The city of Seattle voted to defund their police, or at least cut their budget by 50%. We're not defunding, we're just sending the same amount of money to other things. Oh, well, if you're lowering the funds that they're getting, wouldn't that inherently be defunding the police? I'm so confused. Well, then it went to the mayor, who, in an act of rationality, vetoed this measure to cut funding to the police. Of course, the city council immediately went back and voted again and overrode the veto by the mayor, but at least the mayor tried. I mean, the city council all but forced the police chief in Seattle, a woman of color, to resign because of the absolute lack of support that she was getting. And with all the threats of violence, really from the far left, I'm not going to say liberals, I'm not going to say Democrats, I'm not even going to say progressives, I'm going to say the far, far left. People have noticed, like, why can't I get ammo? Why can't I get guns? It's all getting bought up because people are scared that we're going to be in a civil war. And frankly, I am just somewhat disconcerted over that possibility as well. What happens if after the election, everything just hits the fan, and next thing you know, it's no longer a standoff. It's an actual, gun battles in the street over stuff. See, the ninja says, I'm all for police, but can we get rid of the city-state revenue generating schemes? Hashtag asking for a friend. Yeah, I agree. Especially the whole civil asset forfeiture. I have never seen a greater violation of the Fourth Amendment than, oh, you have all of this cash. We don't care if you can account for every nickel. We believe you're doing something illegal, so we're going to take it. But I haven't done anything. Yeah, well, we know we searched your car and never found so much as a baggie that may have once, years ago, held something illicit, but we're going to take your money anyways. I mean, come on. And then you have, attorneys general like, this has been a horrible night for names for me. The guy before Bill Barr, formerly senator from the great state of Alabama, shows how much of an impact he's made. He never once spoke out against civil acts. Jeff Sessions, thank you. I really need a producer who can sit in here and go, hey, dummy, this is the name you're thinking of. But never once spoke out against civil asset forfeiture. Lady Di, me, I'm halfway across the country from you, but I can tell you who you're trying to think of. He never once spoke out again. In fact, he wanted police departments to do more civil asset forfeiture. It's like, really? You have elderly people who literally lose their entire life savings because, they were kids in 1929 when all the banks collapsed. So I ain't going to put my money in a damn bank. I'm going to do everything with cash. The only reason they have a bank account is so they have a place to go cash their payroll check every month or every week. And so they save up their money in the mattress, in a shoebox, whatever. And then, hey, I'm going to, take this money and give it to my kid because they're starting a business. And they get pulled over and the cops see the money and they take it. Or they're an immigrant who they've been saving the entire time they've been here. And they're trying to fly back home with that cash because that cash will go further in their country than putting it in a bank account and doing a wire transfer because, hey, the country they're from is incredibly corrupt and the government will just take that money out of the bank. I should be putting it in a fireproof safe, not the mattress. Well, if someone breaks into your house in the middle of the night, it's a lot easier to run off that little fireproof safe than it is the mattress that you're laying on. I'm just saying. No one would think of trying to steal a mattress because it's full of cash. It's food for thought. Lady Dice says, not my safe. She probably also has, one that's fairly big, bolted to the floor, and it's not going anywhere. Oh, Libertarian Ninja, need the Jeffy size safe. If you're not a listener of The Blaze, and specifically of the Pat Gray Unleashed show, Jeffy is overweight. And so it's a running joke. Well, that's just rude. I'm like, I can't repeat that joke. But, yeah, so seeing that one popped up kind of caught me off guard. That was hilarious. Thank you. I needed that. And with all the stupid that's been going on, that was well worth the laugh. All right. I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Again, thank you so much for listening. Again, builtbar.com, promo code relentless, save 10%. If you're listening to this on Apple iTunes, remember the 4 things I ask every week. Number 1, subscribe. That way you get notified every week when a new episode posts. Number 2, leave a 5-star rating. Number 3, leave a nice review. Say something nice about the show. It's not much. Just that way when it pops up as you may like this show, people can read through the reviews and go, oh, generally speaking, everyone likes this show, except that one guy. There's always that one guy. And number 4, share it with a friend. Send it to someone you go, hey, you have an off-kilter way of thinking about politics. Check this show out. Or, hey, you're a stark raving liberal. I got something for you. It's great. Whatever. I see how you are. How much is it worth to you? Thanks. Thank you, Lady Di. But again, also go to relentlessdaring.com. You can go to the top of the page and you'll see that donate button. You can go up there and you can set up either a one-time donation or a monthly donation. Either way, or you can go to the merch shop, check it out. Got hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, you name it. Well, don't name it. Might not be there. You also be sure to get your COVID-19 masks from the merch shop. You either get the Virtue Signal mask or the 99% ineffective mask. Either way, check it out. Again, thank you all for listening. And as always, stay relentless.